Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show, where I am pleased to be joined by Nancy Tallman, who is the new president of the Park City Board of Realtors. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I'm happy to have you. It's great to hear of your new elected position. And tell me, you're being inaugurated tomorrow, is that right?
Yep, we have a realtor luncheon tomorrow at noon at the Chateau in Silver Lake. And that is where I will be installed as the president for 2015 for the Park City Board of Realtors.
That's excellent. Well, congratulations. That's really neat. I guess I'm going to play devil's advocate here for a moment, speak for people who have no idea what the board does. What does the board do?
Well, the National Association of Realtors is the largest professional organization in the world with over 700,000 members. And so we are part of the National Association of Realtors. There's the Utah Association and then the local chapter. And basically our two main functions are to be the voice of real estate and to champion personal property rights. But other things that our local Board of Realtor does is, we're very strong in the community. Many of our real estate agents are on boards, they donate to nonprofits, they serve nonprofits. As a board, we've raised tens of thousands, actually hundreds of thousands of dollars for the Peace House and other community organizations.
Absolutely.
And we do scholarships. And then, we also, so we're the voice of real estate.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and I was going to say, it's kind of funny you say that. People say, I just wish this house could talk.
Yeah.
Apparently it does.
That's right.
Through you guys.
Right. Well, and it's, when people use a realtor, what's important is that, we have to adhere to a code of ethics. And all realtors are required to have continuing education, 21 hours every 2 years. And so we can really help people navigate some tough issues. As you said, if the house could talk, it would be a lot easier. But sometimes there's a lot of things people don't know about a property, and it's our job to help them dig up those issues before they close.
Right. I find that it's interesting, and I do a little bit in this world too, that people have some misconceptions about the process and what they're getting themselves into, especially that first home. We always hear that, well, it was my first home, I made some mistakes. Right. And they made those sometimes with help, and which is frustrating, I'm sure. That's where you guys come in, making sure that people have the proper training so that they're representing the home and the property correctly, that they have an idea of what the homeowner is really planning to do and what they're after, making sure that that home is going to match up with that. Because here we have all kinds of issues that you may not have elsewhere, like the historic issue.
Right.
Right.
A lot of homes in Old Town are designated historic. The city has very strict building codes, and if you buy a property with the intent on remodeling it or lifting it, you want to find out what you can do or can't do before you close on that property. Right.
I met a gentleman the other day who has a fairly new home. I would say it's originally, the original property, and part of that is older. There's one little piece on it, and it happens to be a little mine shack. And he can't take it down. They're like, no, that has to stay. Yeah. And he was sort of surprised. He thought he would be able to knock that down. That was something he wanted to get out of the way, because he thought of it as just simply a shed. And they said, no, this is something that people may have lived in, and it's important, and we need to keep it historically. So that was a shock to him. And I've heard of other people who want to, lift and put in the basement, and they can't.
Right.
So there are a lot of things that, you definitely want to know ahead of time.
Absolutely. And, the home is the home, and what you can and cannot do with it. The idea, though, is to find those things out before you close. Right. And, I've worked with people that had these properties and found out they couldn't do what they wanted to do when they purchased it, and that's very unfortunate. So, when you work with a good realtor, you will be able to navigate those issues beforehand. Some properties you'll need a survey. Right. I sold a lot recently in Jeremy Ranch where you think, it's very platted out, it's an established neighborhood. Well, we found out that the neighbor's driveway and his playset were on the lot that I had listed for sale. Wow. And, so then we had to deal with that before the buyers could close.
Indeed.
So, and if the buyers were just working on their own, perhaps they wouldn't have figured those things out prior to purchasing the property.
And I'm not sure why anyone would work on their own, because it seems like you can throw a rock anywhere in Park City and hit a realtor, right?
Yes.
How many do we have? I guess that's the question.
This year we've added, I don't know, maybe 40, 50 realtors. I think we're over 850 members now.
Wow.
At the peak we had over 1,200.
Really?
Then we went down to maybe in the 600s, but we're definitely going up again. And people who have been inactive, sat out the downturn,
Right.
are reactivating their licenses, or we do have some people from Salt Lake City that want to come up here and sell real estate.
Sure.
So.
I'm sure it's very popular, right, for anybody.
Sure.
But so that's a fair number. There's plenty of help out there, is what we're saying. And
Yes.
you really should engage a realtor before you get involved in just about anything, I would think.
Sure. I mean, if you're a buyer, you don't pay for the services of the real estate
Right.
agent. That's covered in the listing agreement. So if there's a property listed on the MLS, the buyer's agent's commission is paid for by the seller. If you are looking at a for sale by owner, my goodness, get a professional involved.
Right.
And a lot of times we can negotiate with that seller and get our fees paid. So for a buyer, it's a no-brainer, really. I mean, it's no cost to them, and they stand to gain a lot. And we
sure.
definitely can, whatever, from the seller's side, we are able to many times get them more money, negotiate things that pay for our fees anyway.
Right. Yeah. Just in the savings of maybe a credit for something.
Right.
It would more than cover the cost of having somebody help you.
That's right. I mean, when I'm on the seller's side, I'm quite a champion for my seller, and I've had people present an inspection and say, well, this fireplace doesn't work, and then I help my sellers navigate that. We get our own person in. We show the buyer that the fireplace works. This has literally happened, where I took a photo with my iPhone of the fireplace working,
Running.
sent it to the buyer's agent and said, sorry, we're not giving you $5,000 for a new fireplace. This one
Right.
works just fine.
But we can agree on one thing, right? That pink carpet has got to go, right?
Yes.
Can we agree?
We
that
can agree.
No pink carpet.
We see all kinds of things. In Park City, it's really fun. And of course, I'm super passionate about houses and property, and that's why I got into this. But we see a lot of these ski condominiums that people have barely used through the years,
Yeah.
and it's like a snapshot of Park City in 1980.
Right.
They are perfectly preserved. All the furniture, the artwork, pictures of Deer Valley,
Yeah.
Park Meadows when there were no houses near the golf course. It's really funny.
Then you should buy that with all of it in it, and I would think
Well,
that seems like the way to go, because that's
sometimes-
in vogue right now anyway.
Exactly. Sometimes they're so dated that they're like coming back.
Wow. Well, I want to ask you this question. We have just a moment left, so tell me what you envision as our future here in Park City. What do you hope to bring to the board and to our future
Okay,
here?
yes, I have
That's
a
kind of a
couple
loaded
of
question.
ideas, and there's a lot going on in Park City now because the market has come back.
Right.
There are a lot of developments going on, and the city and the county, the county is working on its general plan. The city is working on Bonanza Park, which it seems to be the best kept secret in town. It's 100 acres. Actually, this studio here is part of it, where they are looking at rezoning it. And there was a meeting last night. The city has continued to have meetings and listenings, but I think few people are involved, and people need to just know what's happening and voice their
Right.
concerns, their support, or if they have issues, then they need to voice those.
We
People
say it a
should be
lot. You can't
involved.
complain if you're not involved.
That's exactly right. And so there happens to be more going on right now, I think, than there has been in the last 5 years. So it should be really interesting.
I'll say. Well, congratulations on the new position. We hope that you bring a lot to it. I know you will, and it's exciting to have you here helping
Thanks,
us out.
Joe.
Yeah,
Good to be
absolutely.
here.
Hope you'll come in and check in with us again from time to time. Tell us what's going on in the world.
Love
out
that.
there. All right. Well, from the as I said, from the world of real estate, we're going to move to the world of skiing. That happens after this. Our friend Tom Kelly is here in studio. We'll be talking with him shortly. We'll be right back.